canceled off of Facebook for being canceled for calling out the fake, the scamdemic, as well as calling January 6th a Fedsurrection. These are reasons why I was canceled for exercising my free speech. So I do want to get that question in with Mark Zuckerberg. Obviously, he's not going to take questions, but I was hoping to run into him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little research and I'm going to find out where the special guests leave, because I do want to politely ask Mark Zuckerberg why he is still censoring conservative voices, why I have been banned on Facebook for multiple years, why they're censoring Lindell TV and so many of our other great hosts on Lindell TV. Why is Rudy Giuliani still being censored? Why is Mike Lindell still being censored? People who support the president, and you have the audacity to come here to the White House and pretend you're now in line with the president, yet you're still censoring his supporters. It's absolutely disgusting. So what I'm going to do, and we're going to take a quick break and come right back, is I'm going to grab some water because it's hot out, number one. And number two, I'm going to make a phone call because I do want to find out what time this event is ending and sort of try to figure out if I can get a question with some of these tech experts about censorship. I think it is something that is so important that this administration fights. That is the censorship, the continued censorship, the outstanding algorithms that are still on people's accounts like mine. My account has algorithms on it that block people from seeing it. I was banned from so many things on social media. You have no idea. And again, all of these very same social media people, and Google, the CEO of Google is here as well. And as you know, if you put any, what was that?
CEO of Google.
Of Google is here. And what makes me so angry is that Google censors like nobody's business. They censor conservatives. They censor the Gateway Pundit. Of course, I'm assuming they're censoring Mike Lindell. I just say the Gateway Pundit because I worked for the Gateway Pundit. I still am a contributor. And I happen to know that if I put my name in with any of the articles that I do, you can't even find it on Google. And it's getting a little better, but it's still being censored. So these are people we need to talk to and get questions in with, these technocrats. These technocrats that are now pretending that they're on board with President Trump's agenda. As soon as he's out of office, they will begin censoring us again, and they still are. So all this and more after this very quick commercial break on DC Live. I'll see you soon.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including Lindell TV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to Lindell TV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now. If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again, and 2 of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you get 35% off liver health formula and lymph system support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today. With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal bronchitis, or just want to protect your family from the flu or even greater threats, don't wait to get your V3 from airwaterhealing.com today. Use code Lindell for 20% off in savings and free shipping. That's promo code Lindell at airwaterhealing.com. Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code Lindell10, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code Lindell10. Money back in hard-working American pockets. Financial expert and Lindell TV supporter Mark Linchenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LindellOilBoom.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LindellOilBoom.com. Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally.
One, go.
Hey, hey everybody, it's Kara again, and today is a special day. Obviously, I was planning ongoing outside the White House and talking to people about Robert Kennedy Jr. and how he's literally being tormented and abused by these psychopaths like Cassie, who are literal drug pushers. That's what they are. They're bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical companies, and they're literally torturing somebody who's such a beautiful person as Robert Kennedy Jr. Alison Steinberg is there in that hearing, but they're literally going at him. All he has is the best intentions for America's health. These people like Elizabeth Warren, the hypocrite, I saw that she was there as well. All these people want to do is take dollars from pharmaceutical companies and continue to push drugs on the American people without testing them or any of this. So it's absolutely disgusting. So I did want to talk to people outside the gates today. We're not going to get a chance to do that because there is something going on here at the White House. Melania Trump is speaking. She's doing her AI agenda. She has a lot of great things that she's doing with that. But of course, the technocrats are here at the White House. Google, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, I heard, was here. And we're just finding out that they're here in the East Room. So I definitely want to try to catch a question with them and ask them why they are still censoring conservatives like my friend Colonel Reynolds here, who's censored on social media. And why are these people like Mark Zuckerberg here at the White House right now, pretending he's a friend of Trump, but he's still censoring his supporters and people like yourself who are fighting for election integrity and you want to get rid of the mail-in votes?
I think we need to ask Mark Zuckerberg that.
Right.
I think, and will we get an opportunity? I'm hoping that we get an opportunity today to ask him those exact questions.
Right. So I'm on the hunt for him, FYI. So I'm a little bit scattered right now because my eyes are like behind my head. I want to find him and I want to politely ask him why he's still censoring conservatives and why my account still hasn't been reinstated after I was banned for life and I lost all my family photos, by the way. Have you experienced censorship other than Facebook?
I personally have not. I have not censored. I have not been censored at all. But I don't. I don't. Deny that you or many other people that I know have. In fact, like I say, that's a question we need to ask him. Why are they continuing to do this? And why is he here supporting Trump when we know that he wasn't supporting Trump for years? And all of a sudden now he's changed. It's because they're afraid of what's going to happen in the future. And what we're going to have is we're going to go after Facebook because the way that they've been, they've been characterized as a news agency, so they don't have to buy.
They're not a news agency.
Rule 7?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that what we really need to make sure that he's held accountable for not supporting Trump or any of us. We don't believe him. We don't agree with him at all.
We're excited that you're co-hosting today, Mike
I am.
Lindell's show. And don't be nervous. A lot of people get nervous. A lot of people don't realize that we are not like the fake news. We don't need teleprompters. We don't spout off, the expert's agenda off of a screen. We actually have our own minds and we have facts in those minds, believe it or not. We have a lot of facts in our minds, so we don't need the help of a teleprompter. Every day I talk without a teleprompter. 90% of the time I go off of the top of my head.
Hey, you're incredible.
And I can't wait to see you. I cannot wait to see you do that. So you're going to be
At 2 o'clock.
co-hosting Mike Lindell show at 2:00. So we're
2:00.
excited to see that. And you're going to talk about obviously everything that you're doing to fight for fair and free elections in the United States.
Tina Peters and several other topics. We're going to bring on Mark Fincham, who is an Arizona state senator, and he's got some exciting news, breaking news, really, about what they found on was it Code Blue? It's the Act Blue, and what they've been doing as far as funneling money to different politicians. I think that's going to be huge. It's a big story. He's going to come on at the bottom of the hour at 2:30.
Okay, great. So we're looking forward to seeing you, and that's at 2:00. So everybody stay tuned. This is directly at the White House, and we're cheering you on. We can't wait to hear the information, and especially about Tina Peters. We're praying for her all the time.
Absolutely, every day. Every day we're praying for Tina. By the way, just so you know, her birthday is September 11th. She turned 70. We are fighting to get her out of prison before her birthday.
I'm praying for her too, and keep up the good fight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you in a little bit.
See you in a little bit. So I'm going to point out, Gary, if you don't mind showing the media tents. We haven't showed you guys this in a while. The fake news media here in Pebble Beach. This is where they hang out in their tents. They try to block new media companies like us from getting a tent. So we have to deal with torrential downpour. We have to deal with the heat and exhaustion. But we're passing by right now all of these tents, CNN, Fox News, side by side. And everybody else. There's NBC. So they have tents. And I want to turn around now. We're going to take another walk down because I want to show you where I hang out every day and bring you the best news coverage from the White House over here. So I basically sit by the Fox News business tent, because I don't know if you guys heard, this is breaking news yesterday. Newsmax is suing Fox for monopoly. They're saying they need to demonopolize. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Does Fox have a monopoly? Are they trying to cut out the competition and breaking antitrust laws is the question. And Newsmax has launched this lawsuit, passing by OAN's tent. They actually have a tent share, shockingly. Here is the Fox business tent. So this is where, if you want to step back, Gary, we could just show what a tent looks like here at the White House, where the media does their hits. There's lights, there's heating, there's air conditioning in the hot weather months. They have monitors, they have producers, they have everything. But we at Lindell TV have a lot too. We're so grateful to be here at the White House, but we are a new media company, like so many others that President Trump has welcomed. So this is my little camp spot. I actually love it, except in the dead heat of the winter when there's a lot of mosquitoes out. And this is my chair, my director's chair that I sit in every day when I bring you the news. Here's my little table, my desk, the tripod, the lights. This amazing tree hooks us up on a daily basis because it blocks the sweltering sun. Sweltering, I always mispronounce that word, the
Don't
sweltering.
forget the cutter.
The sweltering sun. And what else is there?
The cutter. We have a sunscreen there.
Oh, we have a sunscreen, of course. It's a sunscreen, a Cutter sunscreen. So this is where we do the news. Over here is usually Scripps or BBC right next to us. They usually take this corner spot over here. Who else hangs out here, Gary? This is BBC. This is Scripps News. Who else?
Yeah, sometimes those Middle Eastern network, they show up.
Their Middle Eastern network,
Yes.
foreign press camps out here a lot. So it's basically first come, first serve. And this is a really good spot. I'm not a particular fan, guys, of this bush behind me. It annoys me because,
Mosquitoes.
it's a mosquito bush is basically what it is. So I have to douse myself in natural bug spray. Keep in mind that DEET and a lot of other harmful
mosquito bites?
chemicals are in.
Mosquito bites.
I have a lot of mosquito bites, but it's getting better because it's turning into fall. But there's a lot of harmful chemicals in a lot of these mosquito sprays. So I use all natural eucalyptus, but it doesn't work as well. I'd rather get bit by mosquitoes and take my risks there than spray poison on my body, approved by the FDA. It's disgusting.
Talk to one of the journalists.
I don't think we could do that. I don't think journalists will talk. I don't think they're allowed to. But look, usually NTD and Epoch is over here in this area. They are great friends. We like them a lot. We love Epoch. We love NTD. A lot of Chinese there really support their great reporting that they do. Lindell TV, as you know, is the best reporting, but we give respect to organizations that tell the truth. This is the Eisenhower building, so we look at this every day. This is where great things happen. Doge is in this building. A lot of the secretaries have their offices in this building. It looks like Chip Roy, but that's not Chip Roy. But from behind, it looks like him walking up the driveway. I see Marco Rubio here, Carrie Lake the other day. There's always great people sort of walking into the Eisenhower building. And generally, the press will stake out right here and try to get shots. The press will try to get those paparazzi shots. Here is where the gaggle is. This is where the gaggle is. Basically, what the gaggle is if a person, let's just say like Secretary Kennedy, decides he wants to talk to the press after he does a news hit or he's coming out of a meeting with the president, he'll stand at this podium and field questions from mostly fake news media who will probably torture and torment him and say, what about the measles? Why are you trying to take away our poisonous drugs? They'll ask questions like that. One time Kennedy was here and as he walked by, I asked him to what he was going to do about reinstating the religious exemption in New York. It's so important that people have religious freedom and are able to not get vaccinated in New York, similar to the way that amazing Florida Surgeon General is doing. And he was surprised that somebody in the media actually wasn't a vaccine pusher and bought and paid for. He sort of looked at me with surprise as he walked right by here. In real life, Kennedy is everything you would expect. He looks like a Kennedy. He's tall. He's like statuesque. He has all his people around him. He's in the suit with the skinny tie. It's kind of dreamy. I'm not going to lie. And then over there is the Marine. I don't know if we're allowed to tape the Marine. This guy is a great guy. I'd wave at him, but I don't think he'll wave back. I'm waving at him. It's sort of like in England, like in England when you have the Queen's Guard and people sort of try to get their attention and take pictures and then they become very angry and upset. I'm not saying that this very honorable very honorable Marine who, my dad was a Marine, by the way, would ever be rude. But when there is a Marine standing at the door over there, that is generally where President Trump greets foreign leaders. But if there is a Marine standing at that door, that means that the president is in the White House or in the Oval Office, or in the case of today, he's in the East Room. So the Marine stands guard. That is the tradition. And if there's no Marine there, generally that means that the president is not at the White House. So that is a fun fact. And this is the beautiful driveway where President Trump just greeted the president yesterday of Poland. This is where Zelensky got the boot out, right down the driveway, right here. One of my first days at the White House. So this is where it all happens. This is a behind the scenes look at where it all happens. And like I mentioned earlier, the East Room is that way where Melania is doing her speech right now. And the likes of Mark Zuckerberg and other technocrats are in there. They will be joining the president today on the newly renovated Rose Garden, which has, they put cement down. And it makes sense to me because if you're wearing high heels, you literally sink into the grass. So there is a new patio out there. And I think tonight is the first time that the president will be entertaining guests like Mark Zuckerberg, like the other people from the tech companies, from OpenAI, from Google, possibly from Apple, from what I understand. They're having dinner at 7:30, and that's closed to the press, by the way, as of right now. So that's closed to the press. So there will not be press there at that very special dinner that the president is hosting tonight with Melania here in the White House, here at the White House. I'm curious as to what they're serving as food now at the White House. There are a lot of rumors that President Trump was not eating very healthy in his first term. Hamburgers, overcooked steak, they were saying, with ketchup on it. Ice cream. His favorite is cherry vanilla, from what I understand. I heard that the president, the menu has changed to where it's a little bit more aligned with Maha, but this is just something I heard. I have not confirmed this. I have not yet been invited to a sit-down dinner in the White House, although I wish I would. So put the energy out there so I could report on you if the president is keeping a good diet, because he definitely looks healthier. As much as the mainstream media want to do fake news reports that he's dead, he died over the past Labor Day weekend is what they were saying, or that he's unhealthy, or that his hands have bruises on them. I think he looks healthier than he did in his first administration. He's obviously losing weight. His posture has improved. To me, he looks younger. He's sort of a little bit more calm. So I think that he's actually healthier. But, you know, if you watch the fake news, you would never agree with me, because I have a lot of relatives that do. When they call me for the inside scoop at night, they'll say, Kara, tell me how President Trump looks. Is he really as sick as they say? Is he going to make it? And I'm just like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, what news program did you watch today? Was it MSNBC? Was it CNN? I don't know what news they're watching that's giving them this information that the president isn't doing well. It's absolute garbage. I would tell you, if I was worried about President Trump, I would actually be contacting the White House saying, please let me advise him on diet. Please let me teach him how to box or work out if I actually thought he needed that. But I don't. I think he's healthier than ever before, mentally, physically, spiritually, and all of the different realms of health, because it's not just about physical health. It is also about mental, spiritual, and all these other types of health, like social health, keeping a good social circle around you that supports you, like President Trump has. So I think he's doing just fine. That's just my take on it. And like I said, if there comes a time when I think the president is in peril in regards to his health, I would be the first one to say something. I don't know why, you know, that's a controversial thing, but it is a controversial thing when it's a lie. So it's about 1:25 right now. We have about a minute left, and then we're going to go to Allison Steinberg. And I'm really excited about that because, guys, like I mentioned, Robert Kennedy Jr. testified today and was literally being tortured. It's like being waterboarded by these psycho senators, these bought and paid for senators. And Senator Cassidy, there is an expose if there's any dirt on you coming out, because I am going to dig into you. How dare you try to trap Robert Kennedy Jr., an American hero, into basically what he did, I'm going to explain this really quick, is he sort of tried to trap Robert Kennedy Jr. into saying that he doesn't believe President Trump should get a Nobel Peace Prize. He said, oh, do you think that President Trump should try to get a Nobel Peace Prize for Operation Warp Speed? Okay. And he tried to literally trap Kennedy into saying no. to drive a wedge between the president and the HHS secretary. But I will let Allison Steinberg explain that more straight from Congress. Stay tuned for Allison Steinberg right after this commercial break.
Well, I guess we're not doing a commercial break today. We are going straight to Allison Steinberg. And yes, I am here right outside of the Dirksen Senate office building where Robert F. Kennedy just sat through a very intense hearing. He was absolutely grilled by the Senate Finance Committee. Let me just pull up my notes here because there are a lot of them. It was a very exciting day. Lots of great exchanges, lots of very fiery I was going to say fiery back and forth, but it actually wasn't so much back and forth because it was actually very one-sided. It was a lot of Democrats spewing their talking points and asking RFK if he would respond and then actually not giving him the opportunity to respond. So it didn't seem as though they really cared much to get his opinions and insights and answers into the questions they were asking. They just wanted to, have their little talking points, their viral moments that they can use for their portfolios, and then try to refuse to allow RFK to respond to any of their questions. But anyhow, getting back to the basics of what happened today. Again, this was a U.S. Senate committee hearing on finance. It was led by Chairman Crapo and Ranking Member Ron Wyden. Crapo is a Republican. Wyden is a Democrat. And, these days it really seems like there's not much of a difference between the Republicans and the Democrats, to be honest with you. There were very few very few Republicans in there that actually really stood for truth and really stood by Robert F. Kennedy and his efforts to make America healthy again. It seems like both Republicans and Democrats alike have sold out to Big Pharma and are fully on board with mass vaccinations for the American people. It doesn't seem like there was much support of Robert F. Kennedy coming forward and really trying to raise awareness on and push back against the corrupt COVID data that really doesn't even exist. That point was made numerous times throughout the hearing today, which we will touch on more later. But, the data is so corrupted from COVID. The Biden regime really suppressed so much information and muddied the waters as far as the numbers are concerned. So it's really hard to stand by any official facts as far as, COVID deaths and COVID vaccines are concerned, which RFK attempted to make that point today, though he was very quickly shut down by both Republicans and Democrats alike. So Mr. Wyden had an opening statement. He said that, in his opening statement, he touched on the fact that the Big Beautiful Bill has created the largest cuts to healthcare in our nation's history. He said that families are now confused and scared and they don't know who to trust because RFK is coming in here and feeding mistrust to the people. He said that RFK's primary interest is taking vaccines away from American citizens who desperately need them. He was mad that RFK fired every member of ACIP, the vaccine board, for making vaccine recommendations under false pretenses of conflict of interest regarding vaccines. He called him a vaccine denier. So obviously the Democrats are very upset about RFK coming in here and disrupting all of them, everyone who's sold out to Big Pharma, everyone who gets money from Big Pharma. Another point that was made today by RFK, we'll play that for you in a bit here. But RFK did have an opening statement as well. He said that it's really, his point of interest to enact a true healthcare system, something that actually gets to the root of the issue. As of now, up until now, we've been living in a sick care system. Now we're actually going to reform the system and make it about true healthcare, getting to the root of the problem, figuring out what is driving up this chronic disease epidemic that has run rampant in America, getting rid of the food dyes, getting rid of the poisonous baby formula, E6, fluoride in the water. He said the FDA is on track to approve more drugs than any time in history that actually benefit Americans as opposed to just blindly, being bought out by Big Pharma. And he also touched on some issues that are lacking media attention, like his efforts to stop human trafficking and the $50 billion for rural health transformation that they are working to get that up and running. So again, to be fair. I don't really think RFK was given much of a shot to respond to a lot of what was asked of him today. He did do a great job at refuting some of these ridiculous assertions whenever he had the opportunity. But with that, let's head over to our first clip. This is RFK, who really just fired back when Democrats accused him of not doing his job. He's saying, no, the CDC, prior to him coming in, actually didn't do their job. Let's take a listen to this clip from RFK Jr.
Yes, Senator, this morning I got the latest numbers from CDC that 76.4% of Americans now have a chronic disease. This is stunning. When my uncle was president, it was 11%. 1950, it was 3%. Today, it's 76.4%. 8 out of 10 of our kids cannot qualify for military service. This is a national security issue. When my uncle was president, we spent 0 on chronic disease. Today, we spend $1.3 trillion. It's the biggest cause, it's increasing. And all of the arguments that Republicans and Democrats have about single payer, Obamacare, or with the various ways of allocate the health dollars, they're all like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. If we don't end this chronic disease, we are the sickest country in the world. That's why we have to fire people at CDC. They did not do their job. This was their job to keep us healthy.
Thank you,
And I need to fire some of those people to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
So, I mean, that's such a good point. The CDC is here to protect Americans, to, I guess, make America healthy, which they didn't do because the chronic disease epidemic skyrocketed under, the CDC, everything prior to now, and RFK is the first person to really come in and disrupt this system. As you heard him say, the latest numbers from the CDC indicate that 76.4% of Americans now have chronic disease. He also went on to say that when his uncle was president, it was 11%, and in 1950, it was 3% of people with chronic disease. Now it is upwards of 76%, and 8 out of 10 of our kids can't even qualify for military service. So this is another point that RFK touched on, is that this is a national security issue. The fact that we have allowed these processed foods, these food dyes, the poisonous baby formula, the vaccines, the fluoride in the water, all of this stuff to accumulate for so many years and years and years has now resulted in this chronic disease epidemic, which we are unfortunately facing today. And instead of getting to the root of the issue, like RFK is attempting to do, Democrats and Republicans alike just want to solve everything with a pill. They think Big Pharma is the solution to all of these problems that can actually be fixed. We can actually dig in and get to the root of the issue and start weeding out these contributors that are leading to this massive chronic epidemic and actually rid the nation and the people of these illnesses if we just got to the root of the issue. But no, again, Democrats and Republicans, the uniparty, wants to suppress these problems by slapping a Band-Aid over the issue and, handing it over to Big Pharma because drugs are going to cure all of our problems, according to them, right? Now, speaking of drugs, obviously COVID and the COVID shots were a massive topic that were discussed today. I think it's a very difficult topic because Democrats will forever stick with their talking points of COVID killed millions, COVID vaccines saved millions. We need vaccines. Vaccines are safe and effective. Trust the science, right? All of the same talking points you heard Democrats spew throughout the duration of the scamdemic. But there's no real science to actually back up what any of these tyrants are saying. They're just making things up. They're just pretending to follow the science. And in reality, there actually is no science to even back up what they are saying because the numbers are dramatically skewed and inaccurately reported. RFK touched on that numerous times during the hearing today. He highlighted the fact that the Biden administration did not report the numbers. In fact, the only real numbers that we have to base any statistics off of are the VAERS database. And the VAERS, for those that don't know, is the Vaccine Adverse Events Reaction System, where if someone you know or you suffered an adverse reaction to a vaccine, you could tell the VAERS system what you experienced. So these are real people inputting their real life data into this system, which is really all we have, the only firm form of statistics we have to go off of. And that was brought up again in the meeting today, in the hearing today, but was widely ignored by the Democrats because they're just going to follow their fake science and continue to push their same Democrat talking points. So I think the bottom line is that this whole COVID issue has become so politicized that we're basically now living in two different realities. RFK is living, in the common sense reality and, has the understanding that everything was severely botched during that time, and there really is no hard evidence to go off of. And then the liberals are living on the other side in this, false delusion that they've created for themselves, and they're so intent on continuing to push this narrative that they can't see past the barrier into reality and admit that perhaps they're wrong and that perhaps there is no actual data to go off, and perhaps, trusting the science is a massive hoax in and of itself. So let's take a listen to this next clip where RFK went off for 2 minutes straight, tearing into the absolute politicization of the COVID scamdemic. Take a listen.
Do you believe COVID-19 was politicized?
Yeah, the whole process was politicized. Senator, we were lied to about everything. We were lied to about natural immunity. We were lied to about, we were told again and again the vaccines would prevent transmission, they'd prevent infection. It wasn't true. They knew it from the start it wasn't true because that's what the animal studies and the clinical trials showed. We were told that there was science behind cloth masks. The CDC allowed the teachers union to write the order closing our schools, which hurt working people all over the country, and then pretend it was science-based. All of these issues, and then I can show you, like, for example, Chairman Wyden was talking about me politicizing ACIP. During COVID, probably the most famous scientist on ACIP was Martin Kulldorff from Harvard, the great, world-renowned epidemiologist and vaccinologist. And he criticized the COVID booster mandates. They ejected him from COVID because he wasn't in the orthodoxy. The two biggest health officials at FDA during COVID, Dr. Gruber and Dr. Krause, criticized the Biden mandates, vaccine mandates. President Biden said in August, I would never take that vaccine, the Trump vaccine. And he came in, he mandated it, and then he fired the two top health officials at FDA who said, hey, this thing has not been properly tested. So the whole process was politicized, and even today.
So all of this just really takes me back to the COVID era when we were told that we had to wear, stupid face diapers to participate in society. We had to stand on a stupid sticker that was 6 feet apart from the person in front of us at the grocery store. We had to stand behind a plexiglass to keep the cashier safe. All these ridiculous measures that were enacted during the scamdemic that apparently were science-backed, according to people like Dr. Fauci and Deborah Birx and Rochelle Walensky. All these, alleged medical experts who force these nonsensical, ridiculous rules. And then you look forward to today and you look back and you think how ridiculous all this was. All of this has been clearly disproven. None of this, had any science backing whatsoever. And then you still have these Democrats doubling down on this ridiculous so-called science and refuse to just come forward and admit that, no, there was actually no rhyme or reason for any of this that we all made you go through, right? There was no rhyme or reason for any of it. So I guess we're just supposed to comply with these tyrannical Democrat orders, and then they just get to forever run away with this ridiculous narrative that they are now stating is the truth, and that unless you agree with them, then you're a anti-science vaccine denier. It just makes no sense. And I think RFK is really fighting for and standing up for truth here. I think he's had a difficult time doing this because obviously he's getting a lot of pushback really at every given opportunity. Obviously there's still a lot of corruption within the system just because Trump is in office and RFK Jr. has been, given this position. at Health and Human Services, it doesn't mean that all of the political issues just magically disappear. It means that we need to continue to fight to weed out the immense corruption that is riddled throughout every facet of our government. Now, with that being said, this is where things got a little weird during the hearing today. Was this very vague conversation around Operation Warp Speed. This was something that was brought up by Democrats on numerous occasions today. Many of these Democrats applauded President Trump for Operation Warp Speed and everything he did to get the vaccines out in record timing and making it available for the world in order to, reopen society. Democrats are really thrilled about Operation Warp Speed. In fact, I'd say it's maybe the only thing that they've ever given Trump credit for. But that's where I start to have an issue, because I will never give credit for Operation Warp Speed. I think that, is there strategy to it? Perhaps, yeah. No one was going to be happy until a vaccine was released to reopen society. So maybe it was something that had to be done. But I also really wish that with that, there would be more science behind the actual vaccines themselves, more research and more studies, long-term studies done to know what kind of potential adverse reactions these shots cause. And now look, just fast forward a couple of years, lo and behold, we're now seeing myocarditis spiking, pericarditis, heart disease, cancers, turbo cancers, healthy people falling ill, just, suddenly, dying suddenly. It is frightening to see what has happened as a result of these vaccines. All of this stuff that I'm mentioning never really ran rampant prior to the COVID vaccine. So do I think that Operation Warp Speed deserves a round of applause? I guess maybe in the sense that it allowed the country to reopen, but I also think that everyone who, or at least Republicans or so-called Republicans who were in favor of this or are applauding Trump for his efforts in Warp Speed would at least come forward and also say, but with this, we have to acknowledge the fact that the vaccines are incredibly dangerous. So with that, let's go over to this next clip. This kind of highlights some of the uncertainty surrounding Operation Warp Speed from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He did say that Trump deserves recognition for Warp Speed, but simultaneously said that vaccines cause harm. So I guess the moral of the story from RFK today is that two things can be true at once. So yes, Trump deserves credit for Warp Speed, but also vaccines cause harm. So let's take a listen to this clip from RFK in the hearing today.
And I'm approaching this as a doctor, not as a senator. I am concerned about children's health, seniors' health, all of our health. And I applaud you for joining the president in a call for radical transparency. Thank you for that. I said yesterday, I believe it, that President Trump deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed. If he had been President Obama, he would have gotten it. But because of Operation Warp Speed, forcing the federal government to come to a vaccine development within 10 months when others said it couldn't be done, we saved millions of lives globally, trillions of dollars, we reopened economies, an incredible accomplishment. Mr. Secretary, do you agree with me that the president deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed?
Yeah, absolutely, Senator. That was phenomenal.
So let me ask you, but you just told Senator Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
Wait,
that was a statement.
I did not say that.
Okay, then let me ask, because you also were
Senator, I just want to make clear, I did not say that.
We'll check the record. That's a question of fact. You also said that you were also, as lead attorney for the Children's Health Defense, you engaged in multiple lawsuits attempting to restrict access to the COVID vaccine. Again, it surprises me that you think so highly of Operation Warp Speed when, as an attorney, you attempted to restrict access. Now, let me ask.
I'm happy to explain why.
I have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left.
So there's a scenario in which I would have loved to have heard RFK's further elaboration on that topic. But again, as I pointed out at the beginning of this live stream here, he wasn't really given that opportunity. They grilled him on all of these questions and then didn't even allow him to answer, both Republicans and Democrats. So it was sort of summarized towards the end of the hearing that Robert F. Kennedy did sort of have the opportunity to say, yes, two things can be true at once. Like I said before we showed that clip, Operation Warp Speed, does deserve a round of applause, but also simultaneously vaccines do cause harm and, should be looked into. With that, I think it just goes to show that so many of these corrupt politicians that were in that room today pressing RFK on what he's doing to make America healthy again are just all sellouts. It's just all about who they're backed by. This is why they're all shills for Big Pharma, because they're funded by Big Pharma. RFK actually isn't. He's one of the very few that hasn't taken money from these Big Pharma lobbyists and Big Pharma industries that seemingly run this entire swamp. I mean, just about everyone has been funded by Big Pharma in some capacity. And that was actually pointed out today by Bernie Sanders himself. Bernie Sanders went off saying that he's just going to be honest. Everyone in this room has taken money from Big Pharma, and that's just a fact. So, I mean, Bernie Sanders said it himself. But Bernie also got really heated, as he typically does during this hearing. He just kind of went off on a really weird tangent. Let's take a listen to what Bernie Sanders had to say here.
Marty Makary, Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Oz, Vinay Prasad.
So you got a few doctors who agree with you, and I'm giving you the
Not a few doctors. What you're talking about is there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment, which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical industry.
So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors.
And I'm
the
telling
American
you,
Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food
Everybody
industry.
but you, Senator. But you know what? When you ran for president, we have a corrupt campaign finance system. Maybe you will agree with me on that. Okay, you were running for president, you got $1.5 billion behind it. You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people in it, as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue now...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The issue is every time anyone disagrees with you...
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry was supporting my presidential campaign?
No, I'm saying...
I don't think
no,
so.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the pharmaceutical industry is a greedy institution which is charging us the highest prices in the world. They are pervasive. But to suggest that every institution, the AMA, the pediatrics people, is corrupt because they disagree with you is an insult to the American people.
Listen, people disagree with me all the time. I have arguments in my agency, heated arguments every day with Jay Bhattacharya, with Marty Makary, with Dr. Oz.
You have given the names of a few people. I have given you the names of organizations representing hundreds of thousands of doctors and scientists. I yield, Mr. President.
Senator Tillett.
Well, I mean, I guess Bernie was right about one thing. Yeah, it's all corrupt. And yeah, every senator in that room is funded by Big Pharma, as he himself pointed out, RFK being the only exception. RFK has not received money from Big Pharma, though Bernie, I would argue, has probably taken tens of millions from Big Pharma. So yeah, it's all corrupt. It's all this big, sick club. And unless you perpetuate these narratives, unless you push vaccines and these big pharma products, then I guess, you're not going to be accepted into it. And that's why RFK is so hated amongst these radical lunatics, both left and right, both Democrat and Republican. The point was further solidified on these corrupt politicians receiving big pharma payouts when Pocahontas, aka Elizabeth Warren, attempted to call out RFK for what he's doing. He actually took a shot back at her and said the exact number Elizabeth Warren, aka Pocahontas, has taken from big pharma companies. Take a listen to this clip.
Will you tell America that all adults and all children over 6 months of age are eligible to get a COVID booster at their local pharmacy today?
Anybody can get the booster.
I'm sorry?
Anybody can get it, Senator.
Anybody. So you're saying that is now the official rule of HHS. Anybody is eligible to get a booster by just walking into the pharmacy.
It's not recommended for healthy people.
No. If you don't recommend, then the consequence of that in many states is that you can't walk into a pharmacy and get one. It means insurance companies don't have to cover the $200 or so cost. As Senator Dr. Cassidy said, you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
And that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
I never promised that I was going to recommend products for which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy,
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary,
you want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access.
It depends on the state. It depends on the states.
A year ago,
but they can still get it. Everybody can get it. Everybody can get it, Senator.
So look, let's move on.
Okay, calm down, Pocahontas. She is so ridiculous. Yeah, if you want to go get a stupid COVID booster, feel free. You can go anywhere and get them. I still see signs on every pharmacy I walk past. Get your COVID shot here. Get boosted here. It's still available. Anyone who wants it can go get it. He hasn't taken it away. In fact, I would argue the problem here is that the shots are still easily accessible, and they shouldn't be, because they literally kill people and cause immense harm. They do far more harm than good. So the fact that she's drilling him for making it harder to access the vaccines that are actually still widely available is completely ridiculous. And by the way, let's talk about the fact that why are we still getting boosted at all? Why are we still even talking about COVID shots when this has been around for, what, 5 years now? And we all have herd immunity, and those who have actually gotten multiple shots have, suffered greater adverse reactions than actually whatever the virus entails itself, which is more or less just a cold or a flu. So why are we still talking about boosters? I don't think anyone is upset because they can't access a booster shot. And you know what? If they want to do that to themselves, then I guess go have at it. But it is so ridiculous. I think all of this just goes to show that this is such stupid, idiotic political theater. These Democrat and Republican senators show up to get their, 15 seconds where they get their stupid talking points put out. They get their viral moment, and then they don't give Kennedy an opportunity to really thoroughly respond. It's just all about these sound bites for them. It's all about building up their portfolio. It's all about whatever their next, political campaign is. That's all it is. And to further cement this point, RFK made a great point in the hearing when he discussed that, or he pointed out that sorry guys, I think we're getting in trouble here for some reason. I got a little distracted. He made a great point that that these senators have sat in their chair and held their position for 20 to 25 years, while chronic disease has skyrocketed up to 76%. So what are they doing to fix the issue? Why is RFK the problem when these senators have been in their position for decades? And the problem has only gotten worse. So let's take a listen to this clip from RFK.
Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never ask the question why it's happening. Why is this happening? Today, for the first time in 20 years, we learned that infant mortality has increased in our country. It's not because I came in here. It's because of what happened during the Biden administration that we're going to end.
I mean, it's a great point. What are these senators doing to fix the problem? Apparently, it's Secretary Kennedy who's come in and has been in the position for, 8 months? And he's the problem. He's the reason why we're having all of these issues in America today. No, it's the corrupt government officials that are actually behind all of the problems that we face today. And will anything ever happen? Probably not, because they ultimately control the outcome of, what happens to us here. But we can keep fighting, and we will continue to fight, and we will never back down, and we will continue to hold them to account. I would also like to point out before we wrap up here that Fox, alleged MAGA news outlet, didn't even bother to air the RFK hearing today because I guess they were too busy taking money from Big Pharma. Instead, they were a little bit more focused on the new engagement from Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. I guess that's a little bit more pressing than the RFK hearing that took place today. So well done, Fox. As Trump himself said, MAGA hates Fox. And yes, I think we all know that's true. And then I think, all of this goes to show that we really need to hold our corrupt politicians accountable, because this is not a left or right issue. This is a matter of truth, and continuing to expose that and continuing to drill down on, the information that's swept under the rug, like all of the poor innocent people that have suffered adverse reactions to these vaccines, all of the people that have lost their lives because of these poisonous shots. We need to keep talking about this. This is a conversation that needs to be had. The only person that I really know, to my knowledge, that was in the hearing today is Senator Ron Johnson, who is making it his life's effort to continue to expose this corruption. He actually informed us there would be a hearing on this matter next Tuesday, a good new study that's been done into the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. So we will be there to cover that, and we are very much looking forward to it. Thank you to Senator Ron Johnson for being so upstanding, and thank you to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for not backing down to these big pharma tyrants. Alrighty, guys, that is all I have for you today. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then the Mike Lindell Show is up next. Stay tuned for that. My name is Allison Steinberg, and you are watching Lindell TV.
With everybody talking about making America healthy again, I thought today'd be a great day to talk to all my fellow patriots about the importance of making your homes healthy again. Well, we have proudly partnered with airwaterhealing.com and their revolutionary whole home air purification system. The V3 from Air Water Healing does 3,000 square feet of purification. It eliminates dust, mold, viruses, and odors. But here's the part I love. They require no filters to ever be changed and virtually no maintenance. Whether you suffer from asthma, allergies, seasonal